Well, with us now, Behnam Ben Taleblu is a senior fellow at the Foundation for the Defence of Democracies. Welcome, Behnam. Good to have you on the programme. So what do you make of it? Is Iran genuine, or is this just another ploy to string the Europeans along?
Great to be back with you, Laura. I think this is much talk, little action, and perhaps too little too late when it comes to the Islamic Republic negotiating. The first question here is for those all looking at the Telegraph source, and the Telegraph is thus far the only outlet to have reported this. What kind of uranium enrichment concessions is the Islamic Republic offering now that both Israel and the United States of America have bombed all of the Islamic Republic's uranium enrichment facilities? It should be an outsized intelligence and political question. Is the Islamic Republic of Iran still enriching uranium at facilities that the Americans and the Israelis struck? I don't think so. So if the Islamic Republic is essentially at zero and trying to get back to 20%, it would be a real own goal of strategic proportions for the E3, or even indirectly for the Americans, to concede to that reported new, quote unquote, low level of 20%. And by the way, this is how the Iranians got to retain what they wanted all along, which was low level enrichment. By going to 20%, they got the JCPOA to agree to 3%. Then going to 60% since 2021, they may hope that the Europeans and indirectly the Americans can help them lock in 20%.
Right, so the levels of enrichment are just going up incrementally over the years without anyone remembering what happened. But what about these missing stockpiles of enriched uranium? Has there been any discussion about that?
There hasn't been any answers or solutions to the outsized problems that the Americans, the Israelis, the Europeans, and perhaps most importantly here, the IAEA have been ringing the alarm bell on, which is what's left, where is it, and will the Iranians allow IAEA access back into it? Now, IAEA access was always political in the Islamic Republic, despite the JCPOA saying that there was voluntary adherence to this larger safeguards mechanism called the additional protocol. But that the Islamic Republic has suspended that for a while now, has limited remote monitoring for a while now, and post-12-day war has basically said that IAEA access will be entirely conditional on SNSC, or Supreme National Security Council, approval. And the man at the helm of that council is a veteran a regime insider, Ali Larijani, and he's leading this last-ditch effort to get the Europeans and the IAEA to essentially see enough light at the end of the tunnel to not actually trigger this critical snapback mechanism.
We've just had the Houthis fire a ballistic missile with cluster munitions at Israel. Is Iran just going to continue its attacks via the Houthis while at the same time saying it's being peaceful and it doesn't want to incur any further attacks itself?
Oh, absolutely. And I obviously, as an Iran watcher, it's not just the attacks that we were worried about, it's the shipments that enable these future attacks. It's the supply side of the equation, which really hasn't changed with respect to the 12-day war. You saw a few days after the end of the 12-day war, the shipment that was intercepted by local authorities with allegedly over 700 tons of weapons, including piston engines and what else to enable long-range strike attacks by the Houthis. So the Islamic Republic is continuing its shadow war against the Israelis, be it via proxy, be it via cyber, as well as the terrorism threats against Europe and America.
And there are reports out today that Iran is looking to Belarus as a way to repair its damaged air defense systems that were, of course, wiped out by Israel during the 12-day war in June. And they see this as a way of getting around the sanctions that are imposed on Russia. And also Russia has not shown itself to be particularly willing to help out Iran at this stage. Do you think Iran is being creative about forming new alliances so it can rebuild its military capabilities?
Well, this is more of the same. I don't think the Islamic Republic is innovating out of the sky here, but there's a limited set of countries that the Islamic Republic could directly, politically, legally, and militarily engage with that would have the appetite for this kind of stuff. Naturally, the Belarusians do have what the Russians have, but probably at a much lower, less sophisticated scale. There were many reports after the 12-day war that Iran was pivoting from Russia in terms of military hardware to China. I think the Islamic Republic is going to be finding these issues everywhere, which is that it would take quite a while to significantly restore or repair air defenses and pose a meaningful air defense challenge to such an advanced air force like the Israelis. So when you're looking at Iran engaging with other elements of the axis of aggressors or the axis of resistance or the axis of authoritarians, it's no surprise they're turning to Belarus. I'm just questionable right now if the Belarusians can deliver it on the timetable that Tehran may want.
Behnam, great to talk to you as always. Thank you so much. Behnam Ben Taleblu,
Thank you.
the FDD.